Trying to get a job? What's wrong with this industry? $55 trillion of real estate. The biggest secret that the rich people don't tell you. Complete disintegration of the country. Most people who have a lot of money, they don't want to work. What's wrong with you, man? Can't you stop? You're scared that I'll say no. How to get more income, more clients, and build long-term wealth.
If you're looking to level up your business, think more like an investor and find deals others are missing, you're in the right room. So please help me give a warm welcome to Rafik.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So one thing I love about real estate agents or being an agent is that 1 month you feel like a genius, like you're on top of the world. And the next month you Google, should I get a job? What's wrong with this industry? Having lived that emotional roller coaster as an agent and as a mortgage broker, I've always wanted to have consistency in investments. But how do you invest when you don't have any money? I created this program specifically for agents. Right now, it's probably going to be for KW agents, but it could be for any agents. I'm a commercial real estate investor, but I started investing in residential. And it all starts from like house flipping, duplexes, fourplexes. It's all the same game. It's ultimately a game of monopoly that we play. And most people don't play the game. Most people go from salary commission to commission, go to jail sometimes, and go on vacations and whatever, but they never actually buy assets. How to play real life monopoly, how to get more income, more clients, and build long-term wealth. That's basically the presentation today. So most agents spend their time and career focused on residential real estate. You get into the industry, you want to do some listings, do things, but real estate is the biggest asset class in the United States. I don't know if you know this or not. $55 trillion of real estate is in the United States, and it grows every day, I'm sure, because they build things and the values are going up. But investment real estate is the kind of real estate that actually makes money over a long term. I was with Uncle G yesterday, Grant Cardone, and he says, agents are silly. They want to focus on getting 3% on a deal, and I get 3% every year. I'm like, oh, interesting perspective. 3% every year versus for 3%. Who wants to get 3% from new deals every year? Coming from commercial real estate has larger commissions. You got long-term investor clients because they will keep buying real estate. Repeat transactions year after year. When you have a really good investor, and I'm an investor now, so I'm on a mission to activate many of you to find deals in your markets. I'll teach you how to find deals, how to make commissions, but also my goal is to teach how you can become an investor yourself or how to work with investors like myself. And investment real estate, it builds careers and long-term wealth. So let me tell you a little bit about my story. This is an AI picture, actually. So I immigrated to the United States with big dreams in 1998. I was 20 years old, and I came from a country called USSR. It's no longer there, the Republic of Uzbekistan. Some of you guys think about socialism and think socialism is going to fix issues, I'm telling you, unfortunately for us, it didn't work. And they keep talking about better socialism, Scandinavian socialism, and whatever. I haven't seen anything, but socialism is a disaster. And I lived in a disaster. So I lived through complete disintegration of the country. And I was 13. We had hyperinflation. We had huge unemployment. And basically, I'm a child of a Great Depression. I went to University of Minnesota because my parents insisted that I get education. They didn't want to be an uneducated bum. My 21-year-old does not want to go to school, and I'm supporting her in that. I don't want to shove college education down anybody's throat. I think there is better ways to elevate. In 2003, after working for a lender, I started a mortgage company. And mortgage company, as you know, is basically helping people how to finance houses. I learned a lot about financing. I helped a lot of first-time home buyers, did a lot of subprime loans, and company was great. We actually got to $4 million in sales annually by 2007, and then they shut off the faucet. I got a real estate license in 2006. My primary activity was always a sales guy for mortgages. Real estate license I got because I was buying duplexes, fourplexes, and building a little portfolio. But we started a residential realtor company, had about 12 agents. And I started investing in residential flips and rentals. I lost everything during Great Recession. I was completely wiped out, bankrupt, depressed. My wife left me with 2 kids. My dad died, and so I was so depressed, homeless. And but then I realized, this is the lowest you can go. You gotta clean yourself up and keep going. I learned real estate investing through mentors, masterminds, boot camps, and many of a school of hard knocks, having done a lot of deals. And then I started Caspian Group. I don't know if you guys have heard of Caspian Group. It's a brokerage. We shut down Caspian Group now because I'm now with KW. But Caspian Group was a commercial brokerage, and I started it because I'm running around doing deals. And so this Brian shows up. And Brian is just got out of Air Force. He's broke, doesn't have any money. And we did one deal, second deal. I said, why don't you come and we just set up a company? Now Brian is a very, very successful, like many of my agents, super successful investor. And he's a broker investor, agent investor. My company is called Great Capital. We have portfolio across 8 states today, about 5 million square feet, close to $300 million in assets under management. And that is shopping centers, apartments, parking lots, office buildings, retail, and we do value-add investments. And today, I'm gonna give you secrets as to how to find value-add investments, how to work with investors, and how to position yourself so you can become an investor alongside your customers. I started investing in commercial estate in 2013, and I had bankruptcy. Before that, my credit was destroyed. I didn't really have any money, but I had a lot of help with mentors, with deal structuring and raising capital and stuff. And so I got lucky. I got lucky because I met a mentor who owned 1 million square feet, and he took me under his wing and said, look, what are you messing around with houses? I was flipping houses at the time because mortgage company went down. I said, what are you messing around with houses, man? Get into serious business, commercial real estate. I said, well, let me save some money and then I'll get into commercial real estate. He says, you got it all wrong. Commercial real estate, you don't need money. You need to find deals. Then the investors will be happy to work with you. So why do many agents avoid the investment game or commercial real estate game? Mainly because they have their own little limiting beliefs like I had before I met my mentor. It's too complicated. It's scary. It's big, right? I just want to stick to my houses. And houses are easy, right? You just show them, you sign a couple of pieces of paper, get paid. I don't understand the numbers, which is kind of a continuation of it's complicated. It's a numbers game. And 5 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, you would say, man, it's just number. I'm not a numbers guy. And Rafik, you're lucky you got numbers. Well, today you can speak to your phone, ChatGPT or Anthropic, tell them whatever you want. They'll give you all the answers. So can't have that excuse anymore. I don't have investors as clients, or big investors don't want to work with me because I'm uneducated. That's an excuse, right? Reality is much simpler. Investment real estate is nothing but a real life game of Monopoly. Who here has ever played a Monopoly? Please raise your hands. Okay. Who here owns investment real estate today? So nobody in this room plays a real life Monopoly. And I want to help you guys understand that to the extent that you want to play the real life game of Monopoly, you will be able to invite it to the table. There's 3 types of people. There's those who make things happen. There's those who watch things happen. And there's those who don't know what happened. Real estate investors like Grant Cardone or whatever, they run around doing deals. There's so many deals out there, right? And then there's people that they learn, work with or teach or their agents. They watch things happen. The proximity is power. If you're helping somebody play the game, naturally you are close to the game. You can basically play it. And then there's those who don't know what happened, right? They're not even close to this. I'm so upset with myself for being such a smartass and not buying Bitcoin in 2012 when they offered it for 50 cents. When Uber was available, hey, invest in Uber, 25,000. I'm like, no, forget it. This is stupid, right? But those guys, 100x, 1000x their money. Like some guy, I don't know, about $200 of Bitcoin, and now he's retired. I was one of those people who don't know what happened. Now I know. I want to, every time I see somebody, and of course, it's different games. That's not Monopoly. Monopoly is buildings, there's houses and hotels, but with us, it's anything else, any kind of investment real estate. So investor clients versus traditional clients. If you are selling homes right now, One of your typical investors is going to buy a house for 5 to 7 years. They're basically gone. You're not gonna make any money. So you got to go find more customers. So your whole job is to keep going, getting more and more customers. With investor clients like myself or people in my community, you find a property, you find a second property they're willing to buy, and they'll keep buying. They'll always buy. And then the way I do business, see, I'm in the raving fan realtor business, agent business. There's so many investors and everybody wants a deal. And I say to my agent friends, listen, if you want to work with me, I want to get you paid 3 times. Not once, not twice, 3 times. How? You sell me a property, you get paid. And by the way, it doesn't have to be a listing. You can work with somebody else. You just got to find a deal and help us buy it. And when I say me, it's a community now. Number 2, if you are interested in leasing the property, I'd love to give you the contract. I'll show you how to do it. Go find tenants, get paid. It's an easy way to get paid. And then thirdly, I will commit to you that if you bring me a deal and we buy it, it's automatically your listing if you want to sell it down the road. With many agents who have mastered the game, who understand how it's played, and who work alongside me on leasing and working it, I offer to my agent friends an opportunity to participate in the deal. And that's how we build real wealth for agents. In Caspian Group, most of my agents own multiple deals by virtue of this one secret. When you get paid a commission, that's called ordinary income. If you make more than $400,000 in commissions that year, you owe IRS about 37%, highest tax bracket over $400,000. So basically it's about 37. You can write off whatever, but once you make a lot of money, it's hard to write things off unless you be fraudulent. Then you go to jail. We don't want to do that, right? So you bring me a deal, right? And you say, hey, I got a deal or whatever. Let's say it's $1 million deal, it's a $30,000 commission. Now I got to go raise capital. I don't put my own money into the deal. The whole game is not like, it's nice to be a rich money bags. Guess what? I wasn't born with that kind of a privilege like some of my friends. So I got to go hustle, get the money. So I raise capital. You could be one of those guys and gals who will invest in the deal. And you say, look, Rafik, I want to put my commission into the deal as an investment. Happy to have you. Oh, by the way, if you want to work leasing, I always offer my agents to double their shares if they work on the deal and treat it like it's theirs and get me to a stabilization within 24 months. It's pretty standard procedure. Sean or Drew or Alex, I'll say, look, we're buying this property for $7 million. We need to get the NOI to $1 million. We got to lease all these units. If you hustle and get everything done within 24 months, your 5% ownership turns into 10% ownership. And if you don't, if you sleep behind the wheel, no problem, still love you. I'm going to work with that other person or bring 5 other agents and we're going to lease it up because you're not doing the job, which very rarely happens. People are very incentivized and they'll work with me. So they get 10% ownership. Here's a secret. I don't do anything. You found the deal. You found the tenants. Contractor is doing construction. All I did is put money together, right? We bought this thing for $7 million. It's worth $15 million. We sold it. You made a commission, leasing, whatever. I make a little bit of money, 50% of the profits. My investors get 50% of the profits, and then I give anywhere up to 25% of my show to my agent friends, to my co-GPs and stuff like that. Do you guys know the difference between ordinary income and the capital gains income? No? It's the biggest secret that the rich people don't tell you. If you invest and make money, you pay half the tax. If you work hard and pay taxes, you pay double. You pay 37%. Now, it doesn't apply to people below 200,000. I don't know, I'm not a CPA. I know that if you're a really high income earner, like if you're making $1 million in commissions, you're gonna pay 37% to the IRS. But if you invest that money, you only pay 20. But you can always do 1031 in some other ways. So anyway, investor clients will buy more frequently, often purchase multiple properties, build long-term relationships with agents. And guess what we want? We want elite agents, educated agents who know what they're doing and can find deals. So the income difference, residential and commercial. Again, I want to interchangeably use commercial, industrial, and investments because duplex, fourplexes are also investments, but they're not considered commercial. Residential deal, $12,000 commission. Apartment complex, $180,000, and industrial property is $250,000 to $300,000, $240,000. So I'll give you an example. I was in Cabo 2 weeks ago, and I got a text message from my agent, Sean, and he says, "Hey, I got one. It's in Cincinnati, or no, it's in Miamisburg, Ohio. It's a really good deal. The guy is 91 years old. We can buy it for 9 cap. It's got some vacancy. I said, write it up. He sends an LOI, one piece of paper, 3% commission on a $4.9 million. It's 150 grand, give or take. After the cap, he's a KW guy now. After the cap of 13,000, he keeps everything. And I say, hey, look, if you want to sell it to me, that's great. You want to cash out, pay the tax, or you want to invest? This guy want to invest. All right, cool. We need to lease the property. I said, why don't you be project manager, run it? If he does everything like we did before, $150,000 commission, or maybe 130 is left after a cap, turns into potentially as much as $500,000 in 5 years or 3 years or whatever. And then he gets residual cash flow from that deal. Now, one thing I don't have to do is waste my time like going through that deal. He did all the analysis because I taught him. He's an elite agent. He's an elite investment agent. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to educate as many people as possible to recognize a good deal from a bad deal. And if you understand a good deal from a bad deal and know how to talk to people and whatever, boom, you are an elite agent. By the way, you don't have to be an investor. You can cash out your money, go buy stocks and, go to Hawaii. But I grew up poor, right? So for me, I want to make sure I have security and financial, and so I always think I want to help everybody to have financial security. So you make 20 grand a month, 15 grand a month cash flow, and that gives you ultimately financial freedom. So different between residential real estate, which is primarily emotional, colors, lawns, location, all that other stuff. Commercial real estate is not emotional. It's all about facts. It's all about economics. It's all about cash flow and value and whatever. And so what you need to understand is key concepts like NOI, cap rates, cash flow, debt structures, value add opportunities. And so if you understand the fundamentals of how it works, if you understand the formulas, if you understand the game of Monopoly, you will then, first of all, watch things happen and then you will, if you want to, like you said, you want to flip some houses, why don't flip commercial real estate? Let me give you a little case study on a value add strategy, what we do. My company is called Value Add Network. I do value add deals. So value add means improving the property's performance to increase value. The concept is called forced appreciation. This is how millions are made by people with no money and no credit sometimes. So example, every single property is purchased because it generates income. NOI means net operating income. So if some property generates $80,000 at 8 cap, which cap is basically how much a property generates in income in 1 year, the property value is $1 million. If you have a cap rate of 8, million multiplied by 8, 80,000 per year in income, basically that's how the valuation is on. If you increase the net operating income by 60,000, your NOI goes to $140,000, and $140,000 of net operating income means that the property now can be sold for $1.75 million. You follow the magic here? You follow the logic? Magic logic? You follow it? The key is to find properties with deferred maintenance, dilapidated, the bank-owned, that have some vacancy. I like properties with 20% or more vacancy. Right now, I'm buying an office building that's 30% occupied. The NOI is negative. It doesn't make any money. It's losing money. I'm buying it for $3 million in Eden Prairie. There could be potentially a marketplace there. I don't know yet. We're going to spend $2 million on it, and the NOI is going to be about $800,000. $800,000 of NOI at 8 cap is $10 million. I'll tell you, if I'm buying it for $3 million, if I spend $2 million on rehab, what is the total cost of that project? $5 million? And if it's valued at $10 million, what kind of a margin can one make on that deal? All right? Amber? Are you confused? If a property costs you $5 million and you can sell it for $10 million, how much are you going to make? $5 million, yes. $5 million.
But you're saying you don't need the money, but how do you make those numbers?
So first is knowledge. You got to understand how to play the game. Then once you understand how to play the game, you need to meet people who have money. And you know what I learned? This is a very interesting revelation. Most people who have a lot of money They don't want to work. They're on the beach. They're traveling the world. Like, hey, I don't want to work, but they're sitting on 5 million, 10 million, 20 million. Why would they work? They got to figure it out. But guess what? They want their money to work for them. And they're constantly looking for elite, educated investment advisors to park their money, put their money to work. In buying this property, the one I'm talking about, I'm going to charge a 2% acquisition fee. We didn't get the commission on this one because Cushwake brought it to us and we honor it. So if my guys brought the deal, we would have made another 3% on commission, 100,000. But I'm going to make, on purchase of that property, we as a company are going to make about $60,000 fee on acquisition side. Investors are lined up to fund the down payment, which is about $1.8 million. And our investors who are going to put $1.8 million are going to make $2.5 million on it. Finding money is just it's a matter of awareness. It's understanding how to play the game. So I am announcing, and I'm going to try to do that throughout the KW. And this is my second presentation, by the way. I'm still learning how to do this. I think this thing is not for everybody. It's for top 1%. It's for those guys who are really, really interested in growing and who believe, like Confucius says, he who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. Those who have a can-do attitude and want to learn the magic, learn the Monopoly game, I'll teach them. And then bam, I would love to work with them. So Elite Agent Program is basically somebody who will understand, learn the game, and ultimately go and find those opportunities and work with us. And I'm hoping to basically go throughout the entire KW network. And I was told that there's a chance that Gary can put me on stage during next family reunion. But I don't want to just teach this and not get any results. My goal is to create a lot of results, which I did in Caspian Group. We have most everybody is a multimillionaire now by working with us. And the portfolio that I have is not my portfolio, by the way. It's a portfolio where I have maybe 80 to 100 junior partners who put the whole thing together, and I have some capital partners who come up with the money. So why investors need elite agents? Strong agents play a critical role in successful deals. They find the deals, they build relationships with sellers, because it's not an easy thing sometimes. They understand the local markets. Like you probably understand this area, Woodbury, Hudson, better than me. There's a deal in Stillwater that showed up. If I have a really educated guy and they want 9 million for it, I thought it's 7.5, 8. But if you have a tenant who might go in there, that's where we could put a whole thing together and pay a little more. Leasing and tenants networks and can assist with property stabilization because you're here. Currently, as I stand here with you, I got a project in Canton, Ohio. I got a project in Lansing, Michigan. I got a project in Chicago. I got a project in Jacksonville, Florida. All of them are being remodeled, stabilized, leased. Basically, I'm trying to leverage my knowledge, my capital connections, and my investment network with as many agents as possible. And I want to activate you guys to find deals in your markets and to partner with us. What really stops Amber from this? Knowledge. Here's the thing. Y'all are so lucky. All of us are very lucky because we don't have to think now. All we need to do is learn what questions to ask. You need to know the sequence of question and you need to create a sequence of prompts, and then somebody will do all the thinking for you. You just got to understand the framework. You need to understand the basics. It took me 3 to 5 years ago, took me about 2 weeks plus maybe $1,500 to create an investor presentation. And I got to do all this work. And now I just say, hey, Claude, here's the property. Here's the OM. Can you give me the best way to market it? Can you tenant list, whatever, market rents, and what's my potential? And by the way, can you, while you're doing this, create an investor presentation so I can send it to 5 of my investors and see if they'll be interested in investing? Boom. I was like, man, this is genius. Part of the thing I'm doing right now with my community, AI, every single step of the way, it's basically gonna 10x our output. So investment real estate has its own language. You need to understand how to speak the language. So you gotta understand NOI. What is NOI? Net operating income. There's a gross income, there's expenses, there's net operating income. Cap rates, we talked about that. How much each property generates in income per year. Underwriting, you need to understand how to underwrite deals and analyze them. Value add strategy, I talked about it. How can I create value? How can I buy low, sell high? When buying and fixing houses, it's not economics. It's about colors and, I mean, there's still economics, you gotta understand the comps and stuff, but this is a true investment gangster. You understand everything, and I love talking to agents who know the game. I'm like, man, let's go. Let's do this. Let's buy this property, whatever. And then they also understand the deal structures. So without this knowledge, deals feel intimidating, and you are going to be in that third tier of people who don't know what happened. Unfortunately, very select few people know the knowledge and they dominate. And I believe in distributive capitalism. Socialism, capitalism. What is distributive capitalism? I shouldn't own 80 buildings. Cardone should not own, a $4 billion real estate. Why? But if all of us participate in these deals and benefit from it equally, proportionately to our contribution, that's called distributive capitalism. I actually think it's a better system where if many of us own these buildings and we improve them and serve our tenants and investors, that's much better than one company owning everything. And so I'm changing the paradigm. Second barrier, community. Like, yeah, well, I know it, but who am I going to work with? I don't know anybody. For that reason, I created a community. And I can't buy everything. I have 4 buildings under contract right now. It's impossible for me to buy everything. Nor do I want to. I want to spend time with my children. So what I do is I actually built partner network. I got about 15 partners right now, and I'm growing the list of partners. These guys have capital and credit, and they want to do deals. And I'll put them together, and they basically will work with you. And because we're doing national business, national level. So it's a team sport. You need investors, operators, lenders, advisors, and partners. So the right community will accelerate not only learning, but your deal flow and wealth building. So the real solutions, knowledge and community, and that's exactly why I built Value Add Network. So people ask me, what's wrong with you, man? Can't you stop? You have so much. You have 2 airplanes, you got multiple houses, you got buildings everywhere. Why do you work more? And I said, well, I used to be one of the guys without any money. I used to believe it's impossible for a guy like me, an immigrant, to achieve success. And my heart goes out for people like that. And I want to help. And somehow vicariously, I re-experience the hero's journey when I basically help somebody elevate. And so that's what I do it. I mean, and by the way, I'm not a Mother Teresa yet. I do deals, I make money here, but I can't do all the deals. And so community is going to be, opportunity to collaborate, learn, and invest in real estate. Members in the community are real estate investors, developers, agents, lenders, operators, and we have 2 funds. We're raising capital so we can assist our operators to do deals. And mission is simple, always adding value to each other. While it's called a value add network, we do value add deals. I want us to add value to each other first and foremost, and then add value to real estate. And so what do you get inside the community? Members will learn underwriting, value add investing strategies, negotiating tactics, strategies. There'll be tools. There's deal analysis tools. There's investment templates, AI agents, financial models. There's a whole bunch of paperwork. We paid thousands of dollars to lawyers to create LOIs and lease templates and whatever. Everything is set up in the vault. You have access to a community of investors looking for deals, deal collaboration opportunities, and we do networking events and support. You'll have support from other members and support from Great Capital team. Because I have a capital raising guy, I have a construction management guy, we have, and all of them are helping the community. We want everybody to elevate and grow. Inside the Value Add Network, agents can learn how to analyze deals, how to find investors, how to work on opportunities, and participate in deals and build credibility in relationships. For many agents, Value Add Network becomes their investment real estate accelerator. Now, initially, I built this thing for my investors. I'm an investor, I want to help investors. And I learned very quickly, investors are lazy. They don't want to go and knock on doors and phone calls and whatever. Like, just give me deals and I'm going to do it, And so I'm like, interesting. How can I help my investor friends so that they don't have to do all this run around finding deals? I'm like, realtors, that's what realtors do. All I got to do is teach realtors the game and then they go and find deals for my operator. So now, of course, we had that done with Caspian, but Caspian is limited to Minnesota, but we're doing deals all over the country. So KW became a really good platform. Now, some of my guys went to Legacy and AI. There's a Cushwick, there's Colliers, but I came from a residential background. And KW happens to be the best platform with residential and commercial all in one. I don't want this to be only a commercial game. I want to invite as many people from a residential investments so that they can participate in the duplex, fourplex deals, you know? I joined KW, and I don't know how it works, so I'm totally new to these things. You should build a business expansion team. All right, we're building a business expansion team. So here's what we're gonna do. Our team is called Prosperity. And our goal is to do investment real estate, help people to find investments, participate in investments, and work on larger deals and partner. So earn more commissions, get access to more deals, and investment participation. We create alignment between agents and investors so that win-win is the best way to operate. The most successful agents today are not just agents who run around sell houses. The highest paid agents or brokers in commercial real estate, they make millions of dollars in fees. Advisors, deal makers, and investors, that they become investors themselves, just like what we've done. Right? And so I have this acceleration. I kind of break it up into 4 tiers. There's people with capital and credit. All of us think that's the only people who belong in the monopoly game. We're on the fringes. We don't have money, no credit, so I guess it's not for us. We're just gonna go and sell some real estate or get a job or clean houses. I used to be a cleaner, by the way, when I first came to the United States. Work on larger deals. Advise. So my point is the community. So 4 tiers of people. People with credit and capital, that's Erin. She is in the top echelon. She's got money, she's got credit. She's like, hey, just send me a deal. I want to make money, whatever. That's good. Second tier of people is my friend from Moscow. He's got capital, but he's not American. He can't get credit here. So dude, I can't get credit, but I'll give you $500,000. Can you do a deal for me? Great. Now, other people like entrepreneurs who run businesses, technology companies, or people who have money but don't necessarily want to play the game, like themselves, they have capital and no credit or no desire for credit. And those investors you want to find because they will give you money for your deals. And then the third tier of people is operators. I used to be one, I'm in the top tier now, thank God. But I used to be in the tier, like a bottom tier is no credit, no capital. I was there. Then you graduate to, hey, I have built credit, I have credibility, I have experience, I still need money. And then I work with people with capital. So there's a ladder. No capital, no credit. Credit, no capital. Capital, credit, and basically that's how it works. One of the biggest thing about our community is adding value to each other. So just like that slogan, don't ask what the community can do for you. Ask what you can do for the community. And then if you are dialed into the values of integrity, humility, discipline, growth, and contribution, that's going to be the superpower that's going to elevate everybody. So the biggest thing that we all have is we're programmed for scarcity. We're scared to ask at the fear of rejection. And so you'll never come to me and say, hey, can you invest 500 grand with me? Because you're scared that I'll say no. And so you will never ask. And so you live your life never asking, and you're never going to get anywhere. What will precipitate you to ask? First, a little bit of knowledge. Second, when you're in the community and people are doing things, especially if the people in the community want everybody to grow, then they'll ask. You might get a no first time, you might get a second time, but I'll tell you one thing. If you have a really good deal, everybody wants a deal. Now, who does not want to buy a deal? Who does not want to buy a deal that costs you $5 million that you can sell for 10? It's easy money, right? But then because you are oblivious to the game, you clip a $50,000, $100,000 commission, you go, you're excited, you're happy, while these guys take a $5 million home. But if you did one secret, the tweak, and you embedded yourself as a 5% partner, and then you got promoted another 5%, then your $150,000 commission that's taxed at ordinary income would turn into $500,000, just like with Sean. And then you do another one, and before you know it, 5 years later, because you just did one glitch and worked with investors correctly, now you own 10 buildings and cash flow and everything. That's the secret.